Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 359. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Hello. We are back. Hope everybody had a good long weekend.
Yeah, I know I did. First to say, completely checked out. I think I maybe caught a single inning of the Red Sox game on Saturday, I believe it was. But it was good though. You know,
You need that sometimes.
You definitely need it. To be honest with you, I didn't think it would hit this early though. Like usually it's once the summer gets here, but I was just feeling a little burnt out. Had to step back a little bit. I'm sure people maybe have noticed social's been a little dead on our end.
Yeah.
I'm very much aware. Very much aware. It's not like I'm just choosing forgetting to post things.
Dude, sometimes you need a little break from the toxicity of social.
It's so bad, man. I really needed it. Yeah, it was rough. So,
and you work. I don't think people know that you work in social media. So like it's constant.
Yeah, dude. It's all the time thing. So like throughout the day I'm doing my work, and then like we were talking about yesterday, like I come home and it's like I gotta like jump in head first to the baseball world of social media and then do stuff for that. So I was getting a little bit burnt out, but it was good to have a long weekend, get away, see some family, see my first nephew. That was a good time. Down in Nashville. Got to go to we took him to a Nashville Sounds game, which was awesome. First time I'd been there. That I tell you what, I'm big on giving props to people that do it right, and the Nashville Sounds do it right.
They got it.
Like the park, the fan experience, the location, it's all there. Like that. The first time I think I maybe have ever seen ping pong tables available for fans.
Really?
Yeah, dude. They had everything. They had a lot of stuff for kids. Like they had ping pong tables. They had next to the bars, which they have a great like bar area out there in right field. But yeah, they had the ping pong. They had stuff for kids to climb on. I think they even had. I think I saw like wiffle ball games or something going on. Just all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. But yeah,
were you able to get any grub, any food at all?
No, we had eaten right before we left, so I wasn't able to experience the food aspect of it. But the scoreboard was legit. Like it's got to be one of the more unique scoreboards I've ever seen, with just a massive guitar, and kind of low key. One of my favorite things that they did with the scoreboard, aside from it being a guitar, was their outs counter. If you've ever been to a Sounds game, you know what I'm talking about. But their outs counter are the Tennessee Stars. So like if you look at the state flag, it's got the 3 stars on there, and that's how they keep track of their outs. They like highlight the stars as the inning goes along. Pretty cool. But yeah, it was a good time. I got to, as I mentioned,
here's
to see
my question though.
What do you got?
Was it enough of an experience where you'd be like, Nashville is better off just keeping the sound versus bringing in a Major League Ball club?
I did spend some time thinking about this weekend. We were driving around town, and I was just kind of like in my own little world. Like the family's over there talking about little nephew, and I'm over here looking out the window going, could this city hold a Major League team?
Just take this in,
I should be over there like doing baby talk to my nephew and all that, but I'm looking out the window going, like, do you think this city has the
infrastructure to handle it?
Can they handle this right now? So that if you're
That'd be a
curious
good
where my head's at
location.
when I'm traveling, yeah, like what kind of revenue do we think we could pull into the city? Really help build it up.
Yeah, because
Um,
I feel like the sound for me, like I'm not a huge minor league guy. I haven't maybe been to a handful, but like the Nashville sound is like one in my mind where I'm like, if I was to choose to go to a minor league game, it'd be that one. So I worry that you gotta
we got to get you to a Durham Bulls game. That's what we got to get you.
Yeah, that's true too, for good things. So
They do it right. But yeah, to answer your question, it's tough. It like the Bulls, it's one of those things where it's like you guys have such a good thing going here. I don't know
why
if you want to mess
don't
that up.
Yeah, don't fix what's
But
not broken.
I mean, you look at that and you go, okay, well, baseball obviously works here, so like
That's
maybe
true,
we
too.
push the envelope because you wouldn't want to go to a city where it's like there's no existing baseball here. There's a good chance it's not going to work here. So you got to, I guess, with something like the Sounds, you'd have to roll the dice and say, do we take something that's already good and see if we can make it better? I don't know. It's tough.
Did you ever feel the desire to get cowboy boots?
No. Past many boot barns though.
Mm.
No free ads, but past a couple of those.
Mm.
But no urge to get
It's
cowboy
too
boots.
bad.
No.
It's too bad.
Sorry to disappoint.
Yeah. Go watch Yellowstone again, and then maybe you'll have the itch.
I haven't watched it for a first time, so
You've never seen it?
no. So me watching it
Really?
again would have to be
What are you doing?
after I watch it the first time. I'll get around to it.
I guess.
Big Kevin Costner guy. You want to get into? We got a couple voicemails here. You want to get into?
Yeah, let's hear from old AJ. I know he's coming.
Yeah. You can probably guess who one of them is if you're listening. Yeah. Let's start off with old AJ, with our good friend AJ.
Hey guys, AJ Torres. And
Danbury, Connecticut.
One storyline that I thought was just beautiful for this weekend. And I could say I've never wanted a team to lose badly in the regular season ever as I can recall. And that is Mike Soroka, after over 1,000 days,
Soroka.
going off of back-to-back Achilles tears, which they say is the worst injury that any athlete in any sport could have happen to him. Right now, I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. It's about 9:30 now, my time, so I'm drifting off. But I just saw this man come back from back-to-back possible career-ending injuries, pitch 5 innings, allow 4 runs, and I think his day's done. But whatever the case may be, win or lose, what a freaking comeback. And that is one of the reasons why you gotta love baseball, is because you see romantic moments like this and it just warms the heart. I love Memorial Day baseball ever since I heard Michael Kay and Bob Shepard do it as a Yankee fan. But this right here, I know I'm not going to be watching the Yankee game too much tonight, but what's your thoughts on this Mike Soroka comeback? Because I am all for it. I hope that guy goes to the moon. Take it easy, guys. Later.
Friend of the pod, Mike Soroka. Not a lot of people.
Give him a pass. Give him a Connecticut pass on that one.
That's all right. It's all right. I'm
tournament
not saying
versus tournament. You know, they get a pass.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, not a lot of people remember that we chatted with him. I feel like I said that on a recent episode. I don't know if Soroka came up at any point, but yeah, old friend of the pod.
Solid dude.
Solid dude. I was gonna say, got a great head on his shoulders. Like you could tell when we talked to him that he talked about the injury, which I'm sure isn't easy for a guy like that when like it's your whole life and then your career is derailed by something that
this was before the second one.
Second
though.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
This was
we were
in
talking to
between.
him after the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, he's right. That's one of the harder injuries for sure. And when you look at like TJ specifically for a pitcher, it's like, well, you have examples of guys beating it, right? And you have examples of like Nathan Eovaldi is, he's had it twice. So it's like you hear success stories. There's not a ton after a torn Achilles. So difficult path, but yeah, you can't help but root for the guy. And I know we got a little special spot for our guys that have been on here. So it's good to see him back.
Episode 228 of the 3-0 Take, in case anybody want to go back and listen. That's
way back when.
That was August of 2021. And we're coming up on August of this year. Has it really been 2 years since we talked to him?
We are deep into this. Deep.
Wow. Yeah, we had a couple of our guys return this past week. Soroka, Liam Hendriks, another friend of the pod. Talk about emotional return, man. I mean, and I'm sure Soroka would tell you, like, as hard as coming back from 2 Achilles situations is.
Take that over cancer.
What Liam had to go through, I can't even imagine. I will say, though, everything about it was great. The ovation, the introduction,
his taking it in, but also keeping like the closer mentality while he's doing it is why Liam is Liam. Like that, I think that was my favorite part of it, was that he's still keeping himself hyped. He's huffing and puffing, and he's staying zoned in. It was perfect. Everything was perfect about it.
Well, he told reporters after that minor league rehab appearance where I think it was his first appearance, and he was like, yeah, it was great, but it was really hard to like stay in that mindset because you got people like cheering you for coming back, but I'm sitting here trying to strike 3 guys out. Yeah. So I can't even, it was probably that and then some with his debut for the White Sox. The only gripe I really have, and I know you're probably thinking, how in the world could you have a gripe about this situation? The only gripe I had was that I just don't think you put Liam in the first game you bring him back for. Like, right? Like, having gone through everything that he's gone through, like, at least give him a day back with the club, get his feet wet a little bit, kind of get back in the swing of things, and then maybe let it, I don't want to say let it build, because I don't want to use his cancer diagnosis as some, like, rallying cry, but, like, or his recovery, I should say. But, like, at least give the guy a day, because then he comes out, he gives up a couple runs. They end up losing the game by a couple runs. I think it was tied when he came in, if I recall. They lose 6-4. And I'm like, it's remarkable either way, regardless what would have happened tonight. Have nothing but love for that guy, and really just the Hendriks family. They're just awesome. Yeah. But like, this could have just been, I feel like, a little bit better if you just gave the guy a day to breathe and then maybe bring him in, maybe a different scenario. That's all.
Unless he walked into the clubhouse and said, if you can find a way to get me in today, get me in.
Which he probably did.
And now I think that's the kind of guy he is. I think that's just who he is. Like, hey, I gotta get this moment out of the way. I can't sit on it. Like, give me a chance. Whatever the opportunity is, if there's one, please get me it. Did you see his wife up in the suite yelling at umpires?
Christy was letting it eat, dude. She was like, "You suck, Blue."
She was the star of the pod over anybody else. She was the star of the pod over Liam.
I'm gonna look that one up too.
That one was a great episode, man.
Yeah,
That was a
dude.
great one.
I know we've mentioned on here a number of times, but when we were chatting with Liam that time,
We had to kick him off. It was going.
we
were
literally
deep.
got to the point where it was like you and I had been doing the pod long enough to where like we could kind of tell on the
Yeah.
call, like you and I are kind of looking, going, we
Yeah.
gotta wrap this thing up. And he just kept going and going and going. And then he gets his wife involved and she starts flipping questions to him for like on our behalf.
Tossed the ball at him. Was like, show him your grip.
Yeah, and he gave us like
let's
little grip tutorials and everything.
Yeah.
So it got to the end where we're just sitting there, basically just free entertainment. They're just doing a little Q&A for us
Awesome.
for the pod. It was
Animals
awesome.
are all over the place. Cats are crawling on the camera. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, he gave us a tour of his because that would have been his spring training home because this was
Stuck.
this was COVID.
This was COVID. They were stuck. And I think that's what was cool. And like no matter where he goes or how he does, for me, like during COVID, that's all those guys were doing. They were just doing interviews, Zoom calls, interviews, phone calls, like radio shows. That's all they're doing. It's like you're gonna get burnt out eventually. It's for him to take the time and his wife to be not only cool with it, but be involved in it in certain ways. They got to talk about their charity and what they're doing, off the field. It's like, you can't help but root for this guy. And I'm sure that I can't even imagine, like kids that maybe have gotten a similar diagnosis and they're seeing Liam beat it and go out and play baseball. It's like I think that is the coolest part for me. Like he's going to be humble, and that's not anything he's ever going to feel like a warrior about doing, but the example he's set for coming back this fast, dude. 5 months.
Insane.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
In
I
a
don't even
weird-
care about the result of the game. Doesn't even
No,
bother me.
not at all. Not at all. And I shared my gripe, not as like not as a detractor, not to take anything away from it, but more so looking out for him. But then you bring up the point where it's like maybe he very well could have just went in and been like,
I would guess.
I'm getting the ball tonight. Whether it's a safe situation or not, I'm getting the ball tonight. So,
That'd be my guess.
yeah. So that's probably the likely scenario. Episode 121 for those at home who maybe hopped on the 3-0 take train after that point.
Yeah.
And didn't even know we had interviewed Liam Hendriks. That was back in March of 2020, episode 121. Go back.
Some
and give that
gems
a
back
listen.
there. Some gems back there.
Yeah, dude. We had a heck of a run in COVID. We had Miles Michaelis. We had Zach Plesac, who I'm pretty sure was high at the time. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah. T-Mac was on there.
T-Mac.
Bobby Witt.
Yeah. We had Bobby Witt.
Yeah.
Dallas Braden. Johnny Gomes.
Johnny was cool. Yeah, we had some dudes on there.
Jared Schuster. We mentioned that.
Yeah.
Mike Yastrzemski. We had that was our prime right there.
We peaked early. Now we're
peaked
just
in COVID.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a second voicemail here. Let's run through that real quick.
All right.
Hey, gentlemen. It's Jacob from Pennsylvania and from the Fantasy League. Had to come in and support. I was on this voicemail way before I was a fantasy schmuck, but here I am calling back in. So here's a question. Who's going to get their life together quicker, Cedric Mullins or Julio Rodriguez? I think both have the potential to be, dare I say it, superstars. I know we did not want to give that label to Rodriguez so much last episode, but I really think he has the potential to be that. Whether he is that yet now, who's to say? Really, who's to say? But I think him and Mullins are both incredible individuals, incredible players, and could put their team on their shoulders and carry them. Granted, Mullins also has Rutschman to help him out, and Orioles are missing a couple starting pitchers that would be monumental. But these are two teams that shouldn't be missing the playoffs this year. So, which player is going to lay the groundwork to be that superstar for this year? Thanks.
We're not going to talk about how both those guys are on his fantasy team, though. We won't address that.
We're not as requested by an individual or two. We're not going to talk fantasy at all anymore. So I'm not even going to address your comment. Look, for me, I know certain people may disagree, but I view the potential for superstardom. I view the ceiling much higher for a guy like Julio Rodriguez,
Sure.
just because the reality of it is, whether people want to agree with this or not, as a position player, the guys that get more love at the end of the day, throw advanced analytics out the window, the guys that get more love are the guys who can hit more home runs. And over the course of a career, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Julio Rodriguez probably finishes with more home runs than Cedric Mullins.
Yeah.
Granted, Cedric Mullins can be a 30-30 guy. He was a 30-30 guy. But I see a guy like Julio having potential to go 40, maybe even 50 on a good year. And with that, I don't want to say reality, but with that likelihood, I feel like a guy like Julio, especially with the bag he got, well, it was this offseason, right?
Yeah.
It's whether or not you want to put him in that category just yet, the ingredients are there for that to blossom into quite the superstar.
Yeah, and you talk about a 28-year-old versus a 22-year-old. You know, whatever Ceddy Mullins is, I would say the prime is either now or past us. It's not ahead of us, and Julio's only going to get better. As far as, you know, like the relation to the team goes, I think the Orioles have a better chance of going no matter the performance on Mullins, whereas the Mariners, it kind of seems like they need their guy. They need their guy. They need that juice that he brings, the excitement that he brings to the crowd. That's his job. And that's why an organization pays a guy that early. They give him that contract that early because they recognize that this guy needs to be able to handle the weight and pressure of a city. And he's young. I hope it comes soon. He's starting to tear it up. The last week or so, week and a half, he's been really hot. Obviously, we saw Ceddy Mullins go to the IL, like Jacob mentioned. So, you know, I think that there's more support pieces. And like Jacob was saying, I think Adley is probably the better comparison if you were to take two guys that are on the brink of superstardom and arguably the face of their franchises moving forward versus a Ceddy Mullins. As good as he is, I think he's, you know, closer to the back end of everything. So either way, they're both solid. I think you're right though. Chicks dig the long ball. So Julio's going to be that guy. And I'm hoping he can kind of take the weight and take the Mariners where they're supposed to be. I'd hate to see a fall short scenario. They got too many pieces.
Well, I mean, I was planning on talking about this maybe a little later in the episode, but maybe we just transition into it. Talking about some guys who have been going off as of late. Julio Rodriguez named the AL Player of the Week for the week of May 22nd to the 28th. And as you were kind of saying, when Julio goes, the Mariners go. In 7 games last week, J-Rod slashed 467, 484, and 800, which included 14 hits and 31 plate appearances with 4 doubles, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and a stolen base. As you were saying, when Julio goes, Mariners go. In that stretch, the Mariners went 6-1 last week. Over his last 10 games, he has registered multiple hit games 8 times while slashing 419, 432, and 721 with 3 homers and 10 ribbies. Let's see. What I thought was interesting, I saw a note here. Over that span, he raised his batting average 42 points over those 10 games. So he's now hitting, which is huge, which tells you how much he was really scuffling to start the year.
Right.
He's now slashing 246, 307, 442.
It's weird to have to remind yourself that this is this guy's second year in the league. You know, you gotta slow down and remind yourself of that sometimes. And we're so obsessed with like young talent, and I get it, you know, it's rightfully so, but have some patience. This, you know, month and a half into the season, it's really gonna be just fine. He was out a little bit, right? I think he was on the IL for a little IL stint at some time.
Did he go on the IL? Because I know he was on like a day-to-day. He was on day-to-day status there for a minute, but did he ever make it officially to the IL?
I don't remember. But yeah, I mean, I think he had 4 or 5 knocks against the Yankees series.
Because it was
made a snag up against the wall, and I think that's right.
Shoulder,
that's right.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was like a tough baseball injury to deal with. It wasn't anything small, but saw him crash in the wall and make a nice catch this week against the Yanks. So it's like he seems like he's getting his swagger back a little bit, getting his confidence back.
Another guy that's been just doing his thing, Marcus Semien, who we obviously talked about last episode? Gosh, was last episode really the point in time where we went in on the Rangers?
I think so.
Showing nothing but love for the Rangers. It's just worth noting, though, Marcus Semien up to a 20-game hitting streak coming into Thursday. Before Wednesday's game, he ranked among Major League second basemen first in runs, first in total bases, first in RBIs, first in doubles, second in hits, second in OPS, tied for second in triples, third in batting average, and also is hitting .481 with runners in scoring position, which leads the American League.
Okay.
So
stud.
Yeah, stud. There was no reason to panic.
In my opinion, should probably be the top vote getter for the All-Star ballot.
But he won't. And we'll get into All-Star voting again.
But he should be.
This is my favorite time of year when we can just talk about how much of a joke the All-Star system is. I love it. I absolutely love it. Of all of my rants, I feel like my All-Star voting system...
probably the most valid, huh?
It's the most what? The most valid? Yeah. I feel most justified probably with this one. Maybe a couple others, but this one's got to be at the top of the list. Just a joke. Another 20-game hitting streak. I don't know if a lot of people know this. Freddie Freeman is in the midst of a 20-game hitting streak. He's hitting .457 with 11 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, 21 ribbies, and 20 runs scored during that stretch. During the month of May, who, as we all know, a month of May was big for a lot of these big names.
Mm-hmm.
Some scuffling that needed the month. Some that were scorching coming into the month of May that maybe fell off. Freddie Freeman, I think, has just been doing his thing all year and decided, I'm just going to keep it rolling into the month of May because he slashed .396, .457, and .730 for the month of May.
Oh, my.
And by the way, set new Dodgers records for most extra base hits and doubles in a calendar month. He had 24 extra base hits.
OPS north of 1,000 now.
Yeah, second in all of baseball behind Judge.
Hitting .346.
who, oh, by the way, is pretty much on pace to put up, what was it, like 63 home runs? Is he on 63 home run pace? So that's the only reason Freeman's in second place right now, is because Judge is doing his thing again. But you hear 24 extra base hits in a calendar month, and then you look at a guy like Kyle Schwarber, who I think, did I see that correctly? He had 2 singles the entire month.
No,
did I read that right? No, I'm sorry. I don't want to put that out there if that's not right. I don't think it was that bad. I was headline reading for Schwarber, I admit. Dude, this was posted yesterday. Kyle Schwarber has 2 singles in his last 28 games. That's a month.
He's hitting $163.
He's hitting $163, dude.
31 hits on the season.
Oh, here's an interesting tweet from Codify. Most plate appearances in a 29-game stretch of a regular season, hitting no more than 2 singles. Kyle Schwarber, 123 plate appearances.
What's going on in Philly?
We're not going to talk about Philly right now.
Something in
Philly
the water.
will be fine. Philly will be fine. And you know who else is going to be fine? The Cardinals. And I want to get into that here in just a minute. But let's finish off these noteworthy performances. Marcus Stroman, as much as I don't like the guy, it's worth pointing out his last outing. Took a no-hitter into the 7th. What?
He drives me crazy. I don't like him.
Yeah,
has this like weird flash of just being top 5 in baseball. It's so odd.
Yeah.
We see this like every year and a half. Whatever.
I hate it. I literally just got done saying, like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't like the guy. But yet we do a noteworthy performances segment each Thursday, and I got to include Stroman in there.
The guy just like creates having haters.
Oh, it's so self-manufactured.
Yeah.
Completely. But, you need
whatever
for every
gets
Paul
you going,
Goldschmidt, for every Paul Goldschmidt Wonder Bread kind of guy, you need a Marcus
this.
Stroman.
I guess.
You go from plain as plain can be, the most boring guy in the league. You need a guy to counter that a little bit to keep things interesting. Keep that tension, keep that equilibrium across the league. Marcus Stroman in his last outing against the Rays, which I believe was the 29th, which was that Monday? Was that Tuesday?
Sure.
Yeah, that sounds right. Monday, I think. No.
Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
Monday.
Memorial Day.
Monday.
Oh, that's right, because he had in the clips, he had the patch that they wear. Against the Rays, I'll remind you, best team in baseball, first team to 40 wins. Took a no-hitter into the 7th, complete game, 1 hit, shutout, only allowed 1 walk and had 8 Ks. Because it's Marcus Stroman, that's about all you're going to get out of me. But me including him in this segment is a big accomplishment for me, and
It's a big step forward.
I should be applauded. Thank you. So I mentioned I wanted to talk about the Cardinals real quick because you were asking, like what's going on in Philly? Phillies are going to be fine. Everybody just stop panicking. Stop panicking. We just got to June. We just got to June.
You got to go this month.
You got to go this month, but you still have the month. June's not over. June just started. Okay, for those of you that are fans of teams that are kind of like scuffling on the brink right now, go with that slogan.
You're out of month.
What did I just say?
I don't know. You just got the
June's not over. June just started. I think that's what I said. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Keep that in the back of your mind. Because look what happened with Juan Soto. I mean, now that May is officially in the books, just go back and look at the numbers. I told you he just needed the calendar to change.
Yeah.
That's the last I'm going to say on Juan Soto for the month of May. But I just wanted to show you that just give it time. Give it time. The Phillies, on the other hand, a little bit of a different situation. There's more than just one guy struggling there. But they'll be fine.
A lot of doll hairs for some mediocrity over in Philly. A lot of doll hairs being passed out.
You could say the same over in Queens, but we don't need to.
Oh, you can definitely say that in Queens. Absolutely.
We don't need to. We don't need to be throwing strays at this particular point in the episode.
Not yet. Mets strays are my favorite, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Nothing better.
Nothing better than turning, like having accidental strays and then just turning like full heel and just talking how bad the Mets are. I love it.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite. No, but I wanted to look at the NL Central real quick. Because again, getting us back on track here. You said you were worried about the Phillies. Phillies will be fine. Another team that'll be fine, the Cardinals. And I noticed that the only reason I really want to talk Central is because I was looking at the standings earlier today. You know, after a long weekend where I was just pretty much checked out, unplugged, I needed to get back kind of into the loop. So the other day I was looking through standings, and I come across the National League Central. And I'm not one to look into like the fine print of the standings, if you will. Usually I'm just going to check, you know, how many games back, what's their last 10 look like? Are they on any sort of streak? But I'm looking over here at the expected win-loss for the St. Louis Cardinals, who, by the way, are in fourth place at 25-32. Everybody's hitting the panic button.
5 games back.
5 games back. 4.5 back in the wild card, if you're interested in that. 5-5 in the last 10. Just mediocre, maybe even less than mediocre to some Cardinals fans. Their expected win-loss is 29-28, which would put them, correct me if I'm wrong here, at the top of the division.
Yeah, pretty much.
And by the way,
same amount of wins as the Brewers.
Yeah, the Brewers at 29-26 at the top of the division have an expected win-loss of 25-30, which puts them in the seat of the St. Louis Cardinals. So it's been a minute since I talked about the law of averages. Let it play out. Stop panicking. I've seen way too many tweets, way too many replies saying, fire this manager, let go of the whole front office. The only team that really applies to is the Boston Red Sox, and that doesn't include the manager. Get rid of everybody else. I'll agree with you there. All the outrage for the Red Sox is warranted. I'll give you that. But everybody else, let's calm down, please. The National League Central is going to shake up a lot. And you got the Reds playing. The Reds just took the series from the Red Sox, who, again, are a poverty team. But you got the Reds at 7-3 in their last 10. They've won 5 in a row. They're in third place. The Pirates, we've already talked about the Pirates and what they've done. But even with their struggles as of late, they're still holding it down in second. But what I'm saying is, the Cardinals, I'm just telling you, been saying it since March. They'll be fine. And by the way, the Brewers at the top have the worst run differential in the division. So things are going to shake up. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, they need starting pitching. That's not new news. That's not breaking any ground here. The Cardinals need starting pitching. Bullpen, although back end has been a little shaky at times, is still pretty good. still pretty solid. And you got some superstars on the offensive side that will start producing and getting back to normal. So I'm not too worried about the offense. It's starting pitching, and that is fixable. We've seen teams plug that hole in the middle of the season. So too early right now. I mean, most teams are looking internal to plug some of those holes first, and then I imagine some moves are going to be made here this summer. So I'm not too worried about the Cardinals either. And it's not like that division is going to, run away at any point.
Not to mention, it's almost Jordan Walker time once again. Jordan Walker's been tearing it up down in Memphis. So that'll
annoying.
Yeah, very much so. That'll be sure to provide some sort of spark. Whether or not they need it at the point in time in which he comes up, whenever that may be, it'll be a spark nonetheless. So yeah, it wasn't really a dedicated segment. I didn't go into this wanting to necessarily dive deep into the National League Central. I just wanted to make that observation because I thought it was worth noting. Something else I wanted to talk about. Should we save this or should we do it now? It's not really like a natural transition here, but we were talking strays, and it reminded me of the fact that we needed to talk about the Doug Mientkiewicz A-Rod situation.
Did it happen this weekend?
Because you told me you hadn't seen
If it
the
happened
clip.
this weekend, I have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah. So Doug Mientkiewicz, the quote going around that you've probably seen, even if you didn't see the video or the clip or whatever, the quote going around was that Doug Mientkiewicz, former Red Sox first baseman, the guy who caught the ball, or caught the flip, I should say, from Keith Falk in the 2004 World Series to end the Boston Red Sox World Series drought, and former Yankee. He spent a little time with the Yankees as well. He was quoted as saying he was on Foul Territory, another baseball pod out there, with MLB Network's Scott Braun. No, is Scott Braun with MLB Network anymore?
I don't know.
I think he
think he
transition
dipped out.
into this. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, him and Brzezinski and those guys. Good little crew. They had him on, and the quote, as I was saying, the quote going around was saying from Doug that A-Rod is going to die. What did he say? A lonely man?
Damn.
A sad, lonely man or something. I don't know. So
Is there any context to this? Or
yeah,
just
so I got the clip here. I can play it for you since you haven't heard it, but some context is there. Like I said, they're asking about A-Rod, and he was talking about how essentially A-Rod, because they were teammates in high school, and he was talking about how A-Rod, to the surprise of nobody, kind of left behind his, his high school teammates, doesn't really stay in touch. Not even just like his high school teammates, but just kind of, I guess, people from earlier in his life. Now that he's the A-Rod that everybody knows, I'm not surprised. But that's kind of the context of what they're talking about. So again, this is from Foul Territories podcast. So I got the clip here and I can play it for you.
Like if it's a baseball study, if we're doing stuff for Westminster, our high school, yeah, if he's not sleeping at the table, they honored our coach for his 3 millionth win, and there he is in his Timberwolves shirt, sleeping in a chair, and it's like, come on, man, I always said that he's gonna die a lonely man, because you know what, this whole Father of the Year stuff, God bless him for his daughters, because they come a long way, but it's like you're just trying to get into heaven now. And that's the part. I'm still friends with my high school team. We still text often, not as often as we should, but we still text, group thread, constantly badgering each other. And it's just, he's just distanced from it. And I don't care how good or how great you become and how far your career goes. You never forget your high school dudes. That's just your high school and your college teammates are they're brothers till the end. And we still talk and we still shoot the shit, but he's just nowhere to be found. Even when we do high school stuff for our coach, it's he's just, like I said, I have a picture of him sleeping at the table in his Timberwolves shirt. I'm like, are you serious? Like, go Wolves.
Look, I never want to put myself in a situation where I'm having to defend A-Rod, but like this is such a loser move from Doug Mientkiewicz. The guy is such a weirdo.
Bro.
Like the only thing that you're going to be remembered for is putting yourself in a situation to where I believe he was sued by the Red Sox because of that whole ball situation, because he hung on to it and wouldn't give it over. And he was quoted as saying, like, if somebody would have asked for it, I would have given it to him. I'm like, okay, then is that why we had to witness a negotiation play out with this whole thing? So dude's just a freaking loser. Like the ball should have never been in your possession after that game, after that night. Like that's very much clearly the Red Sox ball. That's the Hall of Fame's ball, whoever else's ball. It's not your ball. I'm sorry. Anyway, this just to me seemed like a attempt at capitalizing on a window in which he could regain some relevancy, because what better way than to punch up at A-Rod, I guess. I don't know.
Who cares, dude? This is so weird. Like, I don't talk to a single high school teammate. Not a one.
Yeah.
Not a single one. I didn't play in the big leagues, so I don't know if that changes things, but like,
no, that almost hurts his case, because it's like, if you go on to play Major League Baseball, okay, it's kind of understood.
Way more teammates than I've had.
Yeah, and you get swept up in like a completely new chapter of your life to where you're playing professional baseball. But if you've got two guys sitting here that played college ball and don't talk to their high school teammates, what do you think that says about it? Like, so that's kind of a lame. I
don't know. It is kind of a punch up. No one outside of diehard fans knows who Doug Mientkiewicz is. Nobody.
No.
So like, whatever. Get your 10 seconds in spotlight. I mean, I don't like A-Rod, but he's doing pretty good in life, I would say. I mean, he's
doing okay.
The next thing I know, it's funny because I hadn't heard this. You were like, oh, I'll just play it on the pod live so you can hear it. I was scrolling through, like looking through Bleacher Report, like looking through stuff. And the next thing I see, and it just is spot on to who A-Rod is. And I'm not laughing at him having this. I'm just laughing at the timing of it. There's some report that came out that he has gum disease. So I'm like, is this like a soften the blow PR move that, like, you know, just tap into let's defend A-Rod kind of thing? Oh, by the way, I know Doug Mientkiewicz is picking on me, but by the way, I also have gum disease. So
he's in constant. I mean, you would know this more than I do, but the guy is just in constant like damage control mode.
Oh yeah,
it's just constantly trying to protect the image that he has crafted since he got out of the game. Which, okay, but
whatever, man. And if he's lonely, he's lonely. Like, who cares? I don't. You see all these pictures of freaking Ben Affleck is hanging
miserable
on for dear life with J-Lo. So it's like, maybe A-Rod dodged the bullet there. Who knows?
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're attacking here. Whatever, man. I'm sure A-Rod's has given a ridiculous amount of money back to that high school and that baseball program. And like, you know, it's weird defending this guy, but
yeah. And at the end of the day,
random shots fired. Random.
Yeah. Talk about strays. At the end of the day, and if Meredith, you're listening, I love you. But at the end of the day, let's just pretend like the whole Ben Affleck misery just doesn't exist. Wouldn't you rather have been able to look back in your life and say, I was with J-Lo and it didn't work out, versus being like us, never having been with J-Lo ever?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think he's doing okay in life. I think he's doing okay. Like, Fox Sports, he's got
You remember that, like, that the young Mariners A-Rod that got interviewed, and he's probably like a rookie. And they're like, who would be like your dream girl? And he's like, J-Lo. all day. And he
Really?
ended up,
From the Marinade. I don't know if I've ever
like
seen that.
way
That's
back
funny.
in the day, he said that. He's like, my dream girl would be J-Lo. And so
That's
like
funny.
the fact that he got her, it's like, all right, well, and you're on Shark Tank. So it's like you own a part of an NBA franchise. You're not completely failing at life. As many haters as you have, including us two, it's like you're still doing okay, guy, minus the gum disease. Good luck with that.
Yeah, best of luck. Never wish that on anybody,
No.
even A-Rod. Gosh, I did not think. I mean, we're coming up on the back end of this episode, and I've already defended A-Rod.
And
I've given
Stroman.
props to Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, look at us turning a new leaf.
Is there anything else that we need to make amends for here while we're here? Give some love to somebody that we don't like? Unbelievable.
I talked about how Josh Naylor is borderline. Oh, we can't talk about fantasy. My bad.
Yeah, we can't do that.
My
Can't do
bad.
that anymore.
That's on me. That's on me.
We've been asked. Pete Alonso, ironically, next Peter Alonso, next on my list of things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to get your take on the, for lack of a better way of saying it, the home run race between Peter Alonso and Aaron Judge, because we just got done talking about how Aaron Judge is on pace to basically, I don't want to say replicate, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? And then you got Peter Alonso outpacing him right now at 20.
Yeah.
I think Judge has 18?
Yeah.
Albeit he missed how much time? A couple weeks?
Week and a half, 2 weeks.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, who's really outpacing who?
Pretty crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I think the difference is that like Peter has a max effort swing. You know those guys like on the pitching side where you say like, "Oh, that's an easy 98," or "That is a everything I got 98." Peter is a everything I got for 20 home runs right now. Judge is like I missed that one and it's still going. Right? It's still getting out. And say whatever you want about Yankee Stadium, he's doing this everywhere he goes. If he misses one, it's gonna find a way to get out. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this race probably still belongs to Judge.
Yeah, and I very loosely called a race because, again, I recognize that it just got to
June 1st.
June.
Yeah.
I understand. I don't mean the race in terms of like, oh,
No,
we
I
got
got
to
it.
tune in
Yeah.
for all these at-bats, but like,
Yeah.
safe to assume that
I'd love it. Honestly, it'd be great. Like
Yeah.
for I think the Yankee Met rivalry needs to get going again.
yeah.
Get a little heated again. I would love for like some type of build up, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume if there is like a reconstruction or reconfiguration of the league and divisions and things like that, it'd be wild to see those two in the same division. Wild. So
I'm going to need that to happen soon, though, while these teams have their respective characters, because that's going
Right.
to make the whole thing.
oh
Like,
yeah.
10 years down the road, it might not be
No.
the same thing it is now, but you
Yeah.
got guys like Pete Alonso,
Who?
Kermit Cole, Peter Alonso, Kermit Cole, Frankie Lindor, just a bunch of
Mhm.
characters. I'm going
Yeah.
to need that to happen soon.
It'll come.
Can I close us out here just reminding people why all-star voting is
A yoke.
the worst thing to exist in baseball?
A yoke.
Okay, maybe not the worst thing to exist in baseball, but like what are we doing, dude? I've already seen the screen. It's been a day. It hadn't even been a full 24 hours yet, and I was already seeing screenshots of people just running straight ballots. I'm like, why? Why? And not to mention, like, we're at a point in time, like, getting serious here for a minute. we're at a point in time right now in society, and Nate and I made this, call it a promise, call it a pact, whatever, when we first started this thing, that we're not going to get political on this show. Like, some people may want us to and address some certain topics, but we are going to remain a place that you can come to where you can hear
little escape.
A nice escape, regardless what side of the aisle you're on, regardless what issues you're passionate about. This is a place you can come and just hear about baseball. I know that's a foreign concept to some people, given that every outlet out there nowadays seems like they're taking on issues head first when it's really just not even their place.
Yeah.
But again, as I was saying, getting serious here for a second, we're at a place now where you could take a guy. I'm looking at the ballot right now. Let me just see. Heck, a guy we literally just got done talking about, Pete Alonso.
Who?
You'd think, Peter Alonso. You'd think, sure, certainly belongs on the All-Star team.
Mm-hmm.
But if Alonso comes out and takes a stand on, and we're not going into this topic,
No.
but if you're listening, you know what I'm talking about. If Alonso takes a stance on target,
mm-hmm.
people will then go out of their way, and it's a broader conversation when you're talking like Hall of Fame, and we've talked about that process too, how that's very questionable. Alonso comes out and takes a stand one way or another on target. You will have a group of people on the opposite side of the debate surrounding target coming out in droves to either A, support him, or B, make sure that he's the last vote getter at his respective position. And to me, that's not baseball. That's not how an all-star selection should be determined.
Yeah.
And like, take the politics out of it. Just a reminder that this is essentially a popularity contest. And we're reminded of it every time of year. Once it gets to June every year, that this is the process that we're dealt. And you can say, well, it doesn't matter. Why does it matter so much? We've talked about it before. These kinds of things are the things you read about in career wrap-ups, when it's like, oh, Pujols finished his career with 700 some odd home runs and this many All-Star game appearances. Well, if his last All-Star appearance was like a, hey, let's get him in there,
see him one more time,
to see him one more time, then you kind of lose it loses credibility a little bit. On a more I don't know if serious is the right word, but on a more serious note, if a guy goes to arbitration, and we've talked about this before, I had an all-star year last year, but I wasn't voted as an all-star because of this or that, because I got beat out by player X, who is more marketable and just got voted in because he is more attractive to the younger demographic as a player in terms of what he brings to the table, regardless what he brought to the table performance-wise. So I just get tired of the system, and I feel like a broken record every summer when this rolls around, but it's just worth talking about. And as I mentioned, there's currently some things going on right now in baseball that, albeit aren't related to an all-star caliber player, but these are just realities of where we're at.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that the fan should have the power to dictate, well, because I don't agree with you on a particular topic. And it goes both ways. I'm not taking a stance here. It goes both ways. I don't think the fans should then have this power to dictate what accolades you're deserving of based on what you have brought to the table.
Yeah, we're talking about like 6-figure bonuses being included in contracts for this, and I do agree. And I think there's ways to fix this. And we've watched other leagues, specifically the NFL and the NBA, their version of the All-Star game has become just a joke, just a complete joke. And I fear that we're trending in that direction by leaving it in the hands of fans only. So I'd love to see, in my mind, like go through this first stage with names on it, and then the next stage remove the names. Just vote on stats. Just vote on numbers the rest of the way out. And I think you'd be surprised who would be in there. And I think there's ways to adjust this. But yeah, kind of with you. Overall, though, I still might be leaning, as many home runs as Peter has, I still might lean towards Freddie.
Yeah. I mean, I was just using the same example. Like,
yeah,
whether he's a starter, reserve, what have
Sure.
you. But just as an example of a guy who,
yeah, political
for all
stance
intents and purposes,
should not be involved in this type of decision making.
and I'm not talking like super outlandish things, like truly not just things you disagree with. I'm talking
Yeah.
like truly outlandish. Like that's
Yeah.
a different conversation. But like, I didn't think we were gonna be having this conversation. But like, look, at the end of the day, can we just get back as a society and just as like an industry, like with sports, of just having normal dialogue again,
Right.
where like, oh, I disagree with you. Here's why. And like it not be the end of the world, and it not like it not be your life mission to ruin that person's life moving forward because you disagree with them. I don't know. I just, as I said, I'm reminded of this every time the voting process comes along.
There's
And
other
for the-
outliers to it. It's not just about baseball. That's what's
And
unfortunate.
It shouldn't be that way. And
Yeah.
and again, the only, if you're listening to this, you probably go, well, we've heard your take on this before. Why do you keep saying it? Well, it's because of this added element that I'm talking about, where like everything now has become so politicized,
Right.
and you see it work its way into sports now. It's fully embedded in sports, not just baseball, but across the board.
Talk about a Kurt Schilling not being in the Hall of Fame. And,
Yeah. And
those
whether
are difficult things to navigate. And I think it's I'm hoping this is just a phase that we can get out of, but I don't know.
and again, it's not one side versus the other. I'm talking across the board. Like we just need to get back to having normal conversations with one another,
Yeah,
and like
be okay
respecting
disagreeing with
that
each
people have different opinions.
Yeah. Crazy. What a weird thought.
What a concept. Oh, man. All right, I feel a little better. I needed
Cool.
to get that.
Good.
Needed to get that out. I did have a note here where we could have gone through the ballot, but we went a little deeper on a couple things. I feel like maybe we could save this. Let some numbers fluctuate a little bit, see where we are in an episode or 2 or 3 or 4, depending upon when we want to bring this back. I think the first round of voting, and it says ends June 22nd.
Oh, we got time.
So we can circle back on this. As much of a joke as I think the process is, I mean,
The fact that
it is-
Jose Altuve is even on this ballot is an absolute. It just what are we doing?
And like the last thing I'll say on it is, and I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but if not, why would you, as a fan of a team, even if you're just the most diehard, why wouldn't you want to see just the best of the best?
Right.
Like, if I'm the Reds, like as a fan of the Red Sox, I don't want to see Tristan Cassis in the All-Star game.
Shouldn't be on the ballot either.
Like, I don't want to see Christian Arroyo
No.
in the All-Star game. Yeah, I'd love to see Rafael Devers because he's an All-Star. Do I want to see Kike Hernandez? No. Do I want to see Connor Wong? No. Like, I've never.
You're not
understood
interested in Josh Rojas?
I've,
Bro's got a 616 OPS. Why is he on here?
dude, I've been waiting.
Does everyone
to
just
see,
get put on here now?
I've been waiting to see Michael A. Taylor bring his 214 average and 6 home runs and 651 OPS to the grandest stage. That's all I want in life right now. Like, let's stop the straight ballots, please. Can that be a movement that we started in 2023? Stop the straight ballots. It's not funny. It's not cute. Nobody wants to see your scrub quadruple A outfielder come on as a reserve. Not even as a reserve. Like, I don't even want him on the roster. I get the whole like team representation thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
But like, be better about who you're voting for. That's all I ask. Okay, I feel better now. Good. Sorry, I had to go on a little bit of a rant there.
It's all right. Did your thing.
Weekend series to watch. You got anything else? Was there anything else you want to touch on?
No. Let's get out of here.
If I know you the way I know you, that's very much like I just had to sit here and listen to you rant for an hour. I don't have anything else to say. Let's get out of here. I do apologize. I was texting you the other day. I didn't get much of a baseball fix, so I feel like
it's just coming in.
This.
Yeah, it's coming in.
I feel like I needed this.
Tried shrimp and grits for the first time this weekend. Delicious.
Really? It's excellent.
Unbelievable. I've never had grits before. What have I been missing?
Yeah, it's excellent. I had it for the first time like within the last year or something. It was pretty good.
Never thought I'd like it. Never thought I would.
Likewise.
Big fan. Shrimp in there? What are we doing? Delicious.
What are we doing? Just
unbelievable.
Just
a little Cholula on the grits, by the way. I was taught that.
Okay, I was going to ask, was that your experiment or was that recommended to you?
It was recommended.
Okay.
I was having some fish tacos, grits on the side. They said, put a little Cholula on there. I said, okay. I would be a giant fat human being if I lived in the South. I would be in real trouble.
South.
Yeah, I'd be in real trouble. What's for breakfast? Just some biscuits and concrete gravy. Grits on the side. You want sweet tea for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Bacon.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, what's that? We're out of sugar. Nate, can you run up to the store and get a full bag? We used the full bag on the last picture we made.
Yeah. Some good old sweet tea.
Jared Walsh is on the ballot, in case you're wondering. He's hitting 185 with 0 home runs and 4 ribbies.
Miguel Cabrera has a 511 OPS. He's going to get in.
He's absolutely going to
He's absolutely getting in.
And that is the reality of where we're at with the All-Star voting.
AJ Pollock's on here. Hitting 161.
Who's the
Joey Votto doesn't have stats. He's on here.
What?
No stats.
Well, Joey Votto's not doing terribly. Like, in comparison, I mean,
there's literally no stats. It's just blank. Just has his name.
I get what I get what you're saying, but I'm saying, recalling some of his numbers that I've seen recently, like, it's Joey Votto stats for sure, but like,
is he even playing?
It's still.
He played this year?
Yes,
I don't even know he was playing this year.
Yeah, because he had like a little revenge tour there early in the year.
No, he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, what are you talking about, dude?
Straight zeros for the season.
No, that's not. He's literally played the season. What are you talking about? Is it just like pulling from Baseball Reference or something?
I just looked on the fantasy app.
He's hitting 194 with 11 home runs, 23 ribbies. He's got an OPS of 822. So like classic Joey Gallo fashion.
He has not played this year.
Yes, he has, dude. Where
I'm
have
looking
you
on
been?
Baseball Reference. There's nothing for 2023.
Where have you been? You're pulling.
I'm looking at it right now. Joey Votto has not played.
Joey Gallo has played baseball.
Votto. Joey Votto.
You said Gallo.
I never said Gallo. I said Joey Votto.
Oh, I thought you said Joey Gallo.
No.
He's quite literally played, and he's done surprisingly well.
No, Joey Votto.
Wow, did you really say Joey Votto the first time around?
Sure did. I'm looking right at his face on this
There's
ballot.
probably people just yelling at me right now. I'm sorry. I apologize. I truly apologize. I was like, what are you saying? You've watched games in which he played. Yeah, he has not played.
Nope.
Oh, and you're saying he's on the ballot?
Yeah. He's on the DH side. Chilling.
Sure enough.
Not a single stat on there.
How about that?
Let's get him in.
What are we doing?
Get him in. Let's get him in.
What are we doing as a
I'd
sport?
love to go that way. Let's just get the worst players.
Yeah.
The all trash game. It's not a bad idea.
He literally hasn't played a game.
It's just the A's playing against different guys from the NL.
It's just an A's inter-squad game. Like, figure it out, baseball. Like, there's a better system than this. This is not it. Clean it up.
Weekend series.
Unbelievable. Weekend series. Blue Jays versus the Mets. Got some.
Ooh, we both got interleague. I like this.
Yeah, you would have some decent pitching matchups here if Justin Verlander could actually, pitch well. Chris Bassett, game 1 versus Justin Verlander. Bassett going up against his former squad. Jose
He's been
Barrios.
dicing lately too.
He has. He's been killing it. Game 2.
It's been good. He's also been pretty vocal on some podcasts lately.
Has he really? I haven't heard.
Pissing me off a little bit. Yeah, Chris Rose is on like this like anti-Yankee thing for like the last few podcasts.
Oh, was he the one talking about how Judge was lying or whatever?
Yeah, he's the one saying that. There's they just complain, dude. The Blue Jays just complain about all things.
Yeah, a bunch of losers.
All things.
Bunch of losers. Not to mention, like, you're not breaking any news. Like, clearly we all know Judge was lying. Like, anybody that understands what he was doing, which is, to be fair, an alarmingly low amount of people. Like, I thought more people would have understood what Judge was doing. But the people that did understand, they knew he was just lying. Like, of course he's lying. He's just saving face. Anyway, game 2, Jose Barrios versus Tyler McGill. And game 3, Yusei Kikuchi versus Kodai Senga Ghost Fork.
Ooh, Kikuchi Senga. Have we had that before? Kikuchi is Japanese, right?
Yes.
Or is he Korean?
I'm like almost positive Japanese. Yeah.
Sick.
Definitely Japanese.
That's cool. This is going to be a cool little matchup.
And
Japan's going to be watching.
He's had some
flashes.
This year. Like, you can see something still there. He's just
Sanga's been a freak, dude. Sanga didn't he just come off a crazy start?
He did, yeah.
I like that. That's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah.
It's a good series pick.
Blue Jays need Kikuchi to kind of get a little more consistent because he's shown you like he's got some stuff. He's in there. He can put it together. Just got to do it consistently. That's my weekend series watch.
Mine's a slam dunk. Yankees going out to LA for the first time in forever. Severino going game 1 against Kershaw. Garrett Cole going against Grove, and then Herman going against Miller. So not the big powerhouse Dodger names you were hoping for, but it'll be Herman's first game back since the suspension.
I was gonna ask.
So interesting there, and Dodgers fans don't. They're locked in. Dodgers fans are very locked in on that kind of stuff. So I expect some boos coming in, but man, it's going to be real cool to see Judge there and just being around Mookie and Freddie. Like, this is, I'm going to be tapped into this series.
I'm not crazy, right? It was the last time they were out there in LA. Wasn't that for like the Players Weekend thing where they were wearing the all whites and all blacks? Was that the last time they were in LA? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
That Players Weekend series where they just had the atrocious uniforms. Surely they've been out there since then, right? That was like, it's like 2021, 2019 even?
I'll look it up.
Because that would have, no, this can't be the first time they've been back.
Yeah, 2019, August of 2019. Yeah, the Players Weekend is in August, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then you had the All-Star game last year.
Right.
Stanton hit a home run. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'm getting those two things mixed up. Yeah.
I don't think
anyway, closing the book here real quick. We got to get out of here. But did you see the video of the A's fan running on the field pregame?
No one cared. Not a soul cared
Not
about
a
it.
soul. Like, I think there was maybe one or two security guards at the very end with just the most lackluster effort. Like, all right, dude, come on.
Is that post-game? Pre-game?
I think it was pregame.
Was it?
Yeah. Because I think they were watering the field.
Dozens of fans. We only had one camera angle on that. Shows how many people were there. One camera angle from like the third deck. Yeah. What a.
It's time. It's
just
get out of there.
Just blow it up.
Have a great weekend. We will see you guys. Hopefully we'll be back in the swing of things, at least for a little while. I think I'm gonna be heading out at the end, towards the end of June. That long weekend we have, like Juneteenth or whatever. I think that's like, yeah, towards the end of June. I'll be heading to the beach with the family for close to a week. So I don't know.
Man.
Don't know if we're gonna be.
I'll be in Denver after that.
Yeah,
the week after.
Basically, what we're saying is this is last episode.
Yeah,
it was a good ride. We'll
thanks everybody.
Wish you best of luck. No, we'll see you guys Monday, and we'll try to keep it going as best we can. But have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you then.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.